Hi, Slangel here from Slangel Designs, and today we are going to do the beginner friendly ripple stitch. Now I've got two little sample swatches here. This is what it looks like if you swap out colors. Now I did use 3 different colors here. You could easily alternate every single row. You could do a few rows of one color, swap out to another color. Totally up to you, very flexible. I will be showing you and here's what it looks like if you don't change colors. It's just as pretty. Now, I will show you how to do just if you're keeping your color the same, but I'm also going to show you how to properly swap your color at the end of a row where you want to do a color change. One thing I will give you, it's a big suggestion. If you're swapping your colors frequently, weave your loose ends in every few rows or so that when you're done with your project, you're not going to be overwhelmed and have like a whole bunch of ends to weave in, because that's very, very daunting to do. So that's my big suggestion. Now I will have in the description of this video a link to the downloadable free PDF for the pattern, as well as a link to the double crochet tutorial, because double crochet is the main stitch in this pattern. Okay, this is a beginner level, very easy. It's one of those ones that looks a little more complicated than it is. It's the stitches are done in multiples of 10 plus 2. So when you're going to make a project, whether it's something for a crib, just a throw for on your back of your couch, or a twin size, queen size bed, totally customizable. It all depends on how many starting chains you use, but you want to do it in multiples of 10 plus 2. So if you were doing a crib blanket, maybe that's like 100 stitches, so you would do 102. Multiples of 10 plus the 2. If you're doing for somebody's bed, you might do 300, but then add on your 2. All stitch abbreviations and the stitch terminology in this pattern are in US terms. So very simple. The only abbreviations you're running into here are chain, double crochet, stitches, and space. You can use whatever yarn you want for this sort of stitch. The only thing you're going to notice is on your ball of yarn, it's going to recommend a size hook, and it will also so the Cross Smart Value worsted weight yarn says a 5.5 millimeter or a US I9, which is what I am using today, but it also tells you the gauge, that if you want a 4x4 square with this hook, you should have 17 stitches across and 23 rows high. Should give you 4x4 inches. I'm going to do a video soon explaining what this means and how to just figure it out. Because if you make a swatch just to check the gauge and you don't get this, well, then what do? Some people need to either go up a hook, down a hook, or sometimes multiple sizes. So we'll check into that down the road. So anyway, so beginner friendly ripple stitch, super simple. So I'm going to just be using worsted weight yarn today, which is a number 4 yarn, and my 5.5 millimeter hook. All right, let me just set those aside. So we're going to start out with our blue. And for the sample, I'm going to be doing a starting chain of 32, which is a multiple of 10 plus the 2, okay? So you do your multiples of however many you want and add 2, and then you can either pause it now and come back, or just count out your stitches. And all right, let me see. And don't forget the first one on your hook, your slip knot, that doesn't count as a stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 1, and 2. All right, so you have your starting chain, however long you have decided you're going to make your project. So now for row 1, it says to skip the first 2 chains, and that's going to count as your first double crochet, right? The chain on your hook does not count. So skip first 2 chains. So skip this one and this one. We're going to be working, this one doesn't count. Skip, skip, we're working into this one here, okay? And it wants us to do a double crochet in that. So skip, skip, double crochet. So put your hook in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That counts as a double, that's your double crochet, okay? Then it wants you to double crochet in the next 4 chains. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm just going to move this yarn over to this side so it comes out a little bit better for me. There we go. All right, so the chains that we skipped counted as the first double crochet. It said to double crochet in the second chain, so skip 2 chains and double crochet in the next, and then the 4. So that's our starting. Now it wants us to skip 2 stitches. So skip 1, 2, and we're going to work into this one, and we're going to do a double crochet. And then it tells us to do the next 3 as well, because it said to do 4. So we'll do that, and this will be our 4th one here. So you'll notice that made our valley. We did our starting double crochets, skipped the 2, and then it did our 4 double crochets. That makes your valley. All right, so now it wants us to chain 2 because we're at the peak. So what you're going to end up doing is you're going to double crochet in the next 4 chains, but you're not skipping any. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And see, that made our peak. So now that we've got our 4 done here, it's telling us to repeat from the starting part there where we, from the asterisk on, which is to skip 2 stitches. So we're going to skip these 2, and we're going to double crochet in the next one. It says to do 4 double crochets in the next stitches. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. That brings us up to our peak. So we're going to chain 2, and then we're going to double crochet in the next 4, but we're not skipping any, okay? So double crochet in the next 4. Now, that brings us down to the valley, but we only have so many stitches left. So it's saying to you that when you get to the last 6, you're going to skip 2 stitches and double crochet into the next 3. That'll make your valley. And then it wants you to put 2 double crochets in the last chain, and mine is tight, so I tend to just stick it in right in there, and the next row will be a little bit better. All right, so I'm going to do another row in this color, but as you can see, we had worked our way down to our valley, back up to our peak, valley, peak, valley, and we're back up. So now, if you're not changing your color, you're going to turn your work. You're going to chain 3, which counts as your first double crochet. Then you're going to do a double crochet right in the very first stitch right here. Then what you're going to do is do the double crochet in the next 3 stitches. That brings us down to the valley. We're going to skip 2 stitches and do the next 3 double crochets. Then it tells you in the pattern, when you reach the peak, you've got your chain 2 space from the row below. You're going to put a double crochet in that chain 2 space. Then you're going to chain 2, and in that same chain 2 space, put another double crochet. That just makes the peak. Now, the next 3 stitches are double crochets. So you can see that this pattern is made primarily of double crochets and chains. That's it. Super simple. We're down to the valley. We're going to skip 2 stitches and then double crochet in the next 3. And that'll bring us back up to the peak. And we've reached the peak, which is the chain 2 space. We're going to put a double crochet, chain 2, and double crochet all in that chain 2 space from the row below. And the peak is made. Now, we're going to chain or double crochet in the next 3. Helps if I yarn over. Then we're down to the valley. We're going to skip 2 stitches and double crochet in the next 3, because these are our last stitches. Then what it tells you to do is in this turning chain, you're going to put 2 double crochets. And that finishes off that row there. So again, you can see the going down to the valleys, up to the peaks, easy peasy. Now, if you wanted to be changing your colors, here's what I'm recommending you do. I'm just going to back off and undo the last double crochet there. When you're at the part where it says to do the 2 double crochets in the turning chain, top of the turning chain, put your hook in and yarn over like you're going to be doing your double crochet so that you have your 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over with your existing color and pull through the first 2, but stop there. Take your new color, and however you like to attach it to your work, that's fine. You're going to yarn over your hook and pull through the new color. Then what I like to do, I will cut the old yarn, move that out of the way. I just take my tails of the old and the new, and I kind of just give them a little gentle knot so that they're not loose on me. And you got to realize too, if you're changing colors at the end of every row, you're going to have a lot of these tails. So again, weave them in as you're going. So we have changed our color, and you'll see by doing it in such a way with the part of the double crochet, you can't tell that there was a color change, like there's no lopsided colors. So then what you're going to do, you're going to just repeat. You're repeating row 2. You do row 1 and then row 2, and row 2 is the repeat row until you're done of the desired length of your project. So we're going to chain 3, double crochet in that very first stitch. I'll just do this one more row, and then we're going to chain or double crochet the next 3. I'm going to go a little faster here. We're going to skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, double crochet in the next 3, we reached our peak, so we're going to put a double crochet in that chain 2 as well, and then another double crochet in the chain 2 space. Then we're going to double crochet in the next 3, we're down to the valley, which means we're going to have to skip 2 stitches and double crochet in the next 3 to get us back up to the next peak. We've reached the chain 2 space where we're going to put a double crochet, chain 2, and double crochet all in that chain 2 space. We're going to double crochet in the next 3. So you can see, once you get used to the pattern and where you put your skip stitches and stuff, it goes pretty quickly. Then we're coming up to our last stitches, so we're going to skip the next 2 stitches, double crochet in the next 3, and then in that turning chain at the top of the chain, we're going to put in 2 double crochets to finish off the round. There you go. And again, if you were changing colors, you would only go, you would do the first part of your double crochet as normal, where you put your hook through, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through the first 2, put your new color on there so that when you pull it through the next 2 loops, nice even color change. All right. So there it is after a color change. So you're going to just repeat row 2 until you've reached the desired length of your project, okay? Super, super simple, and it gives you a really nice pattern. All right. And again, I think the color combination is key as to how this is going to end up looking, but it does look just as nice as a, as a solid color. So that's it for the basic super friendly beginner ripple stitch. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them in the comment section, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. And I love to hear from you. I love to see if you make anything. I love to see the end result. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It really does help the channel out. And if you have any suggestions as to what you might like to see, if there's a certain stitch you're having issues with, if I can provide a tutorial for that, because if you have questions about it, somebody else may too, so that might help other people as well. So there's lots of fun things coming up down the road. I have some keychains I'm going to show you how to make, and I think we're going to do a crochet along for perhaps an alphabet baby blanket. So we'll see if I can get that set up for you. I already have the pattern and some tracking sheets and everything all done up to make it easier for everybody. So I thought that might be fun. So again, that's the beginner friendly ripple stitch. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it, and I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video, and happy crocheting. Bye-bye.